3,
2,
and go.
All right. Welcome back to JK Rants and Reviews. I'm John. This is Caleb. Today we're going to be talking about the new X-Men movie, Dark Phoenix. We're going to do a spoiler-free video, spoiler-free review here at the beginning, and then we're going to do the spoiler review after we get done with the spoiler-free.
There were reshoots.
The reshoots bug him a lot. They don't bug me at all.
So bad. So, okay. Alright, the movie looked great. The acting was... it was really good. I mean, when you have a cast like this returning again, of course, I have a level of what I expected. They were right there with it. Michael Fassbender steals the show again for me. I'm a huge Magneto fan, and I think that he is a great casting choice for Magneto.
He was in really good shape in this movie, too.
Yeah,
he
looked like he bulked up. I was wondering
did.
if he was training for a secret role in Terminator. No, it looked great. The effects were really good. There were moments where it takes you out of the movie just to see what's happening there, and you're like, it felt really good. It felt good, but I had some problems.
Yeah. I had no problems. This movie actually, and I think part of it was I had low expectations because so much of the news was negative, and I tried to stay away from it, but just scrolling through Facebook, because just checking on our Facebook and for everything else, I saw that it had a 24% Rotten Tomatoes, but 77% of users liked it, so Tomatoes has been wrong on a few movies that I've liked that they didn't, so I wasn't too worried about it. But for me, what this movie delivered was leaps and bounds what I was expecting.
For me, it under-delivered. Then again, I feel like for some reason just redoing the Phoenix storyline again,
Right.
Not too long after we just had that, maybe wasn't a good choice. But then again, since they're rebooting it, I guess it's kind of a good place to end it. I don't know. I'm really torn.
I think so too. I like the spoiler free. For me, this movie is nice because it goes at a good pace, and there's a lot of emotions behind the characters, whether it be romance or family or past drama or past dramatic events. There's a lot of good heart in this movie. The acting is still really good. The dialogue is a little weak.
There's moments...
Didn't bug me, but it's a little weak.
Yeah, I'll definitely give you the pacing and the timing. It rolled very well for an X-Men film.
Right.
Some X-Men films have a drag where you're like... This one had a good, steady flow.
Yeah. Overall, would you recommend it?
Yeah, of course. Since this is technically the ending point as the X-Men universe, you gotta see it. That's kind of what I went into it thinking. And yes, I feel I'm on the not liking it end, but I also appreciate what it was. So I recommend it. I say if you get a chance, go to theaters to see it. It will hold up better in a movie theater than on your screen at home, just based on the effects used. Definitely go see it.
No, I definitely recommend it. It's got a different flavor to it than a lot of the X-Men movies, where I think I kind of like it a little bit because it's just a little bit of a breath of fresh air. It's just a little bit different. It's a different paced movie. The first three and these last four, it's up there for me. It's up there.
For me, it sits towards the bottom, and I think I get overhyped about X-Men movies, and Apocalypse apparently taught me nothing.
I think the biggest problem with this, though, from where we're coming from, is we just got done watching Endgame last month, which, in my opinion, is one of the best superhero movies ever made of all time, and probably ever will be.
That put a bow on their storyline and wrapped it, and it's done.
Epic of 10 years,
And although that movie may have some flaws and some issues, it was done so well that it's hard to follow up just a few months not even a few,
A month.
just a
A
month
month
later.
to change, yeah.
Yeah, a month later, and have a whole other set of these superhero characters put an end stamp.
Which technically, because all this was, even though it was kind of rebooted, it still technically has the DNA of the first movie, because the events of that first movie are what led to Days of Future Past, which led to this. So this needed to end on a huge note, which, no spoilers, but that's where I think
That's where I'm
coming off of Endgame is just this is why it probably has a negative rating. It was a tough time to come out.
And with ending it, I don't know. I like the cast of course, all of the X-Men films we have so far, and rebooting it to me just hurts my soul a little bit.
It's a little soon.
I feel like there's no need, at least yet.
So, guys, if you haven't seen it and you don't want to be spoiled, stop watching now.
And then come back.
And then come back and check out the second half of this video, which we're going to start talking about. We're going to start talking about here in just a second. So yeah, stop watching
now.
Okay. Okay, guys. Spoilers in 3, 2, 1.
Raven!
Okay.
They built this character up, and he has problems with it. I see the problem, but they built a character. They made this their lead character throughout this
next
part
Wolverine,
of the
basically.
yeah. Logan was who we had first, and now we have Raven. And I'm okay if you're gonna build that character. That was the most unceremonious unceremonious death scene for this character that you have built up and built up and built up, and then you're just bleh.
Right, it was pretty weak. I mean, it's not as weak as Cyclops dying in The Last Stand, which it's off screen and you didn't even see it.
That's fair,
but I mean, her story arc was done. Okay, hero turned villain, villain turned kind of good guy, turned good guy.
Walking the line of seeing both between Professor X and Magneto's points of life and points of viewing, seeing that.
And not believing in either of them.
Yeah, but working for the greater good in her interpretation. So we spent so much time with this character, growing with this character, and then it's just like...
But she was gonna, I mean, just like her character would, like, I mean, she's not a great superhero. She's not really a hero, I mean, throughout most of the comics and her backstories and stuff like that. So for her to become a hero, and that's great, she's the leader of the X-Men, things are working out to where she's going to leave. I feel like her story arc was done, and to kill her off made sense to me because I don't think she's interesting enough, powerful enough, a leader to lead the X-Men to make her interesting enough. So for me, I get it. It was good, and it was impactful. That was a piece of the heart of the movie, of this franchise that you took.
So for me, I think the problem for me with killing her wasn't necessarily that, I mean, a character had to die at that scene. It's the house scene. It happened in Last Stand. It's going to happen here. It's just the fact that it was like this. So if
and it was kind of off-screen the way they cut it.
Yeah, if they would have killed Logan like that in X-Men 2, this franchise would have died.
But he is the beloved character. I mean, there's him, and then there's Deadpool.
But they were making her that character. So by taking that and flipping it that fast, it frustrated me.
Well, and what's funny about this movie is, like, every time there's danger and people are like walking towards the danger, I'm like, no, this is where, like, in a hostage situation, you need to back up a little bit and talk them down. Don't get in their face. But every time in the movie, like, even at the end, when like the fire's coming out, Scott's walking at the danger. Back up. I get they're heroes and that's what they do, but back up from the danger a little bit.
Yeah, so to that, at the beginning when the lady's going to check on her dog, my initial response to that is, why do white people always go alone to check out the scary noise? I don't get it. I'm not that person.
Maybe it's like a dog safety net. Like,
if there is a loud noise, there are lights. I know what I'm walking into. Like, I'm not just, who's it? Oh, this is fine. No, that's how you die. We've all seen enough movies.
It's a rich neighborhood. You feel safe. It's a false sense of security.
Nope. I saw Get Out. Nope.
It's ruined it for us.
The two most redeeming qualities of this film for me. Number one, Jean Grey's characterization was on point. She was in touch with who she was. She knew that she still loved. She knew, and she was battling all this. I think that following her character was awesome. And again, Magneto, seeing him just, I don't know, Michael Fassbender fits it. I mean, Ian McKellen, don't get me wrong, is fantastic and great, but something about Michael Fassbender, it just, his emotion towards the role makes it great for me.
Well, he almost has like this, not Hannibal Lecter, but that sinister accent, tone. He's a phenomenal actor. He's a phenomenal actor. He's absolutely fantastic. They couldn't have chose a better Magneto that I've ever seen.
And I'm really scared. How do you come off McAvoy, Jennifer Lawrence, and Michael Fassbender? And I mean, this cast is just,
it's thick with getting them at the right time and building them up. And
yeah, I mean, I had the same feeling when First Class came out, and First Class was out of nowhere fantastic. Mm-hmm. So I'm open but cautious.
The special effects where like she gets upset and the glow comes out. That was sweet. And she's such a fantastic actress. Oh my god.
They kept doing this scene like it was when she was in space and the solar flare was hitting her, and then also when that lady's showing her the world that it could be in, they show the stars and the space. That's what I was talking about in the spoiler-free, that just takes you out of the movie and you're almost immersed in this.
The one big glaring problem I have with this movie is that you're telling me, I think the first X-Men, what did we say, 99, 2000 came out? 2000 I want to say? This takes place mostly in 1992, is when all this Dark Phoenix stuff is going on.
Yeah.
So you're telling me Michael Fassbender and
James
McAvoy are, what, 60? They're not 60.
Also,
I mean, they look, what, mid 40s?
Come on. James McAvoy still looks 36. Like, I'm not going to lie.
They should have done some CGI stuff to age them a little bit, because when this movie ends with them sitting together at the table, had they actually looked 60 and stuff, like in that retirement age where they've done what they've needed to do, that would have carried a little bit more weight for me than a guy that looks like he is in his prime.
This movie totally walked into the meme about how, like, 5 or 10 years difference for Patrick Stewart and McAvoy. Like, ooh, look at what that 5 years did.
Right, like...
And it walked into it and, like, totally ignored what we had before.
And I think they messed with the Jean Grey story a little bit, but I let that go because the events have changed because of Days of Future Past, so I'll let that go.
Everything has changed.
But time has not changed.
Now...
Like, these people should look old.
I've been able to separate a little... Okay, this one's difficult to explain. I've been able to separate ruining a storyline from trying to change it to be a little more screen appropriate and to be a little more because you have
just enjoy it better.
Yeah, you have what, an hour and a half to 2 hours to pour out this storyline that may take the place of a huge line of novels, graphic novels, books, other films, things like that, and they're trying to sum it up in this. So I can kind of appreciate the crunches that they made to make it fit. Whereas I feel like with the previous attempt at this, they just went,
But I think for this movie it's nice because they don't get overly dark.
No.
They don't get overly comedic. Mm-hmm. They have some good time action. They have some good throwbacks. They have some funny little one-liners. And like at the end on the train, which is my favorite part, is when Magneto's standing there and all the guns come around him and he just keeps pulling them off the shelf and unloading. That was awesome. And the fight scenes with Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler was fantastic.
The Brotherhood was a little... they're probably not the Brotherhood anymore, but the guy with the dreadlocks whipping, I was like...
When I first saw that, I was like, is that Predator?
Right, it's a little weird. But I like the fact, too, that finally somebody could block Charles's mind control, because otherwise, again, every time he could just take over his people and, get him.
I'm not going to lie. When she died, I was kind of mad because I was like, this could go somewhere.
That almost looked like a B-horror movie full. Like, gotcha.
Yeah, like if she were to live and it wasn't getting rebooted, this character could take this particular franchise a little bit further because she has similar powers to Professor X, who just retired at the end of this at the ripe age of 41 and a half.
And they changed the name to Jean Grey School for reasons. Because she self-sacrificed, which I get that, but I get washing your hands of it, but I don't know. It's okay. It's just Xavier School sounds a lot better than the Jean Grey School. I
don't care about changing the name of the
come in love.
Yeah, I don't care so much about changing the name of the school as much as I do about there are two capable adult mutants who are still able to do a lot if they work together or separately, and they're just going to retire. And but they're like 42. Like, what are they doing? Why are they
Now, that, like I said, in their prime, and you're retiring them, and it doesn't feel right. Had you aged them a little bit, put a little color in Magneto's hair, like little gray, a little bit more wrinkles, do something. That was the biggest thing for me. This was the weakest part. Everything else was great, though. The fight scenes, the action, the heart, the dialogue was a little weak, but man, I mean, and it was well paced.
Yeah, every actor did great. Every person who was dealing with the cinematography did great. Every person dealing with the effects did great. Costume design did great. I just don't understand where somewhere along the line some of the dialogue got choppy, and right with that age thing. It just, why?
Right. You should have known better. That's the one glaring thing. Overall, though, I mean, what would you give it?
Oh, I don't want to be mean. Okay, so I likely will not see it again for a few years.
Oh, wow.
Just at the rate that I watch films, I know this. I will likely go back and watch First Class within like 6 months, and I will probably go back and watch Days of Future Past within 6 months. So I think I'm going to give it a 7. It's a great movie in its own right, but it is kind of a drop off from what I would expect from a finale. Now, some of that can also be due to the fact that it wasn't supposed to be the end. And I've heard that there were supposed to be some reshoots done once Disney got the property. So to that end, I wonder if there is a better version of this film somewhere. And if there is, I hope that maybe one day in my lifetime I get to see it. So, 7.
This is something I think they should have waited further on down the line to try again, since they've already done it in The Last Stand and it didn't work. And these characters are very young, and you could definitely keep using them for all, 4 or 5 more movies before you got back to this storyline. But I really enjoyed it. For me, it kind of had a little bit of a tone of the first movie, the X-Men movie. We were saying 2000. And I like the pace. I like that there wasn't this grand battle at the end. I like that it's just a normal kind of toned down version where they focus more on the characters and the interaction and the heart that it's developed in the past few movies. So for me, I think I'm going to give it. I'm going to be a little generous too. I think I'm going to give it an 8. I mean, none of these movies are a 10. I mean, I think there's a couple that are really good. Yeah.
Logan might be a 10.
Nah, he's good, but there's some issues I have with it. It's good. Could have been a 10. There's one little I would have done and made it a 10. Anyway, guys, comment down below. Let us know what you guys think. Make sure and like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Stick with us because we got a lot more good movies coming your way. Until next time, JK out.
Who would you recast as Magneto and Professor X?